Hello, my name is Abraham Klein from the Saltsburg News and Saltsburg Videos. And today we're here with Adam Flory. And Adam Flory is interesting in many ways. He's a, we'll have him tell you a little bit about himself. But, well, Adam, tell us a little bit about yourself, your age, things like that.
Well, I'm age 18. I play accordion at the church, and Altman Baptist Church, and I also have an interest in all different kinds of interesting, a lot of people would say they're kind of obscure instruments that most people wouldn't want to learn.
Right. Depending on culture, I mean, they would be considered, certain cultures, they'd be considered normal instruments, but
Yes.
unfortunately in Western Pennsylvania, they're not exactly normal instruments. But before we get into your music, tell us a little bit about, where you're from. You have an interesting family. You're the youngest of how many kids?
I'm the youngest of a family of 8.
Okay, and like I said, you're from
Pennsylvania.
well,
Indiana, Pennsylvania.
Indiana. What? Clarksburg. All right.
Yeah, Clarksburg.
And but you said you play in church. What church is that?
The Altman Baptist Church.
Okay, and how long have you been going there?
I've been going there basically all my life.
Okay, all right. Well, let's get into your instruments. What makes you so special is that you like to play instruments, but they're interesting instruments, as you say. And, some people play the guitar, but you like to jam out on accordion or dulcimer
Yeah.
or some other strange instrument. So name a few of the instruments that you do currently play.
Okay, I'm trying to work on the piano, accordion, dulcimer, pan flute, erhu, and those are basically all I'm working on right now.
Okay.
Some of them are a work in progress, but I'm better at only 2 of them.
Okay, and which one did you start with?
The dulcimer.
Okay, and how did your interest grow from, when you started?
Well, it was Abraham Klein, a friend of mine. He brought a dulcimer to his house that he got from a music store, and it was an upright dulcimer where you can stand up and play it. And I kind of like the twang to it. It was interesting, and I really enjoyed the sound of it. Well, I went home and I started browsing it on the internet, that instrument. Wanted to get one for myself eventually, and just play around with it. And then later on, Abraham Klein brought over one of these lap dulcimers and showed me a little bit. I played with his for a while, and I learned some chords on it, and I was like, oh, this sounds really good. So I started making up my own music, and I've been going like that ever since.
Okay. When did you realize that you not only liked it, but it became something that you could actually play well?
That came with the practice, basically.
Okay.
The more practice I got, the more I enjoyed listening to my own music, to where I wasn't afraid to play it in front of people.
Okay.
And I felt comfortable, and sooner or later, I was able to play with people singing to it.
All right. And, of course, it didn't end with just the dulcimer. You decided at some point, hey, I might be able to play other instruments. How did it where did it grow from there? What started happening? You just discovered another instrument one day, and you said, I'll start playing that, and then you...
It was through eBay, really. I would listen to YouTube and hear the dulcimer, and then I'd go looking for dulcimers on YouTube, kind of just browsing around, trying to eye candy, I guess. And then I came across this instrument named the erhu.
Okay.
And I had no understanding of what it was or what it was about. It was this thing. And
it's interesting. It's certainly an interesting instrument.
Completely Mandarin instrument, and it's got a very unique sound to it. Kind of sounds like a violin. But
it's
that's a work in progress. I'm not really very good at it. Still sounds like a dying cat.
Right. Interesting. That is certainly an interesting instrument. It's hard to say, isn't it? But anyway, you seem to like the accordion a lot. Why do you like that instrument more than the others?
Well, when I first started coming out and playing by myself in front of people, I started doing it at the nursing home. Well, I brought my dulcimer there, and they couldn't hear that. Well, about a half a year later, I picked up the accordion, and I was at my church. We had two other accordion players at the time, and I was curious to how the accordion worked. So I walked over there when nobody was around, and I kind of honked out a couple notes, and I was like, hey, I like this. So eventually I started learning it there at the church with another person's accordion, and then I had one given to me. So from that accordion, I started playing at the nursing home, and from there, they could hear that.
Yeah,
and now they started enjoying it.
And now you play pretty regularly in your church, if I understand it right?
Every Sunday, every Wednesday.
Okay. And you mentioned early on in the interview that you're starting to work on the piano. That's a very conventional instrument. Most people probably at one point in their life were forced to learn it. And you're obviously learning it at will. And how's that experience been for you?
Well, ever since I started picking up the accordion, I've learned how keys go and how notes go, and like this key will go with this key, and so forth. So I kind of tied that in with the piano, and it kind of works together with every other instrument, I guess, that exists.
Okay. And you come from a pretty musical family. Most everybody in your immediate family, your brothers and sisters sing, and two of your sisters play instruments. One writes music. Have you received any help as far as learning instruments from, say, your one sister that plays piano?
I have learned quite a bit from her, really, but mostly I've been catching on to it playing my ear, and I can transpose keys. I can't read music yet, but I plan to do that in the future.
Okay. And of course, you not only play instruments, you also sing with your family as well. And what's that like for you? How do you?
It's exuberating. I enjoy lifting praises to God every Sunday. I feel like it's a new part of another side of me that just waiting to come out, and I get to show that musical side of me. That it's just wonderful.
Okay, and this might be a little bit of a tough question, but what's your ultimate goal in learning and perfecting the art of these instruments? I'm sure you'll want to learn other instruments in the future. What's your goal with learning these instruments?
Well, my potential goal, I play out on the front porch every day, and we have a post office that's pretty active, right across the street from it, and people come in and out of that post office, and they hear me playing the accordion on the porch, and from that, sometimes I have people coming over and wanting to hear my music, and I invite them to come to church and kind of make it a miniature ministry.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, lastly, what would you say to those, I know just about everybody that plays instruments gets asked this question, but what would you say to those wanting to learn an instrument? You took on what I would say probably pretty hard instruments, definitely different instruments, and some people, won't even take the time to pick up a guitar and try to learn a few chords. What would you say to those, or maybe have that desire?
If you like the sound of it and you have the determination to learn the instrument, I'd say it comes around pretty easily. But if you don't have the willpower or the determination to do it, and you don't want to set off any time for yourself to learn it, you'll probably learn it really slow.
Okay, all right. Well, this has been Abraham Klein with Mr. Adam Flory. He's from Clarksburg. He's 18 years old and loves to play music. And we thank you for watching. We hope that you've enjoyed it. We hope that you'll like, subscribe, and share this video with everybody that you know. Thank you.